You know, somewhere in here is actually a really good indie dramedy. Somewhere. Hey there, Cinephiles. Today I'm reviewing a Minecraft movie. Yes, that's right, the long-awaited adaptation of the insanely popular video game. This is actually a really cool thing that they gave away at the screening, so shout out to the studio for this. I gotta be honest, heading into this movie, I had very, very low expectations. Not only because I'm not the biggest into Minecraft, but also because the marketing for this film is it's a bit baffling. And I understand that they were marketing for it to be a kid/family film, and in the end I would call it more of a family film than a kids film. So I'm pleased to say that I was so pleasantly surprised with how not bad this movie is. Don't get me wrong, it's not going to be one of my favorites of the entire year, but I was expecting a dumpster fire of a movie, and I gotta say we're far from it outside of maybe a few moments. When the opening credits were happening and the intro was introing, there were about 7 writers who came up, and that honestly scared me so much. But as a whole, overall though, I actually enjoyed more than I thought I would from this. Let me start with the positives here. Everything outside of Steve and in the real world, I didn't mind that much. There's a version of that I think could actually be made into its very own film and actually be great. And honestly, that extends out to Jason Momoa's character and the idea of him, as well as the bits that we get of Jennifer Coolidge in here. I mean, she's just wonderful in everything, so of course she's wonderful in this. And for the little family dynamic between Emma Myers and Sebastian Hansen, I did enjoy it for what it was. Danielle Brooks, although was just kind of all over the place as a character, she still gave it her all in what she could. I just wish they wrote her a bit better. As for other positives, once we do get into the Minecraft world itself, there are some fun ways that they use the world and some of its rules, and it kind of ties into the overall theme of being creative and actually promoting that idea and how good it can be for everyone. And it does show what can happen when you squash that creativity too. So the idea and themes of the movie I do really like, and I like that they were adding this to a Minecraft movie where creativity is endless. So shout out to one of the 7 writers who thought of that. And there were also parts that I did kind of laugh at, so there is that too. But now time to get into the negatives of this mixed bag movie. And I do have to start with Steve. I know Jack Black is beloved by many, but honestly, his character could have just been combined with Jason Momoa's, and I think we would have gotten a much stronger emotional response from the film. It's kind of crazy how the original characters that are from the film and not necessarily the game itself, I just grew more attached to. And maybe it's because of the audience's eyes, but there's a world where Jason Momoa's character could have also been Steve, and I think that still would have had a greater impact. As for the other negatives, there are some jokes in here that will date the film, and not even necessarily to when Minecraft was its most popular, but to today, which I know Minecraft is still huge. I mean, come on, we got this whole movie from it, but it's not quite the same thing. Also, I feel like the balancing of the characters in this just wasn't the best, and even when you had the supposed star of Minecraft itself in Steve, it just kind of was so loosely handled. I didn't love this interpretation. Granted, again, I'm not into the game that much, but I just don't think this was the best way to go about it, at least for that character. Especially when the movie you're currently presenting is already there with some really good ingredients, and then the overall dish just kind of feels like a hodgepodge, some things good, some things bad kind of mess. I also got to say too, going back to the writing, there's just some things in here that are incredibly predictable, and not that it needs to be anything groundbreaking, but I mean, you saw it from 3 scenes before of where that scene was going, you know? And when it comes down to certain jokes, you know, it can be a little bit of a cringe fest at times. But I also know that this movie wasn't necessarily made for me. It was made for the families who have kids that are very into Minecraft, or even the adults, the parents too. And overall, it's not a terrible time like I thought it was going to be. It kind of surprised me with how enjoyable of a time I found myself having. It's unfortunately just a mixed bag with some things that I wanted more light to shine on versus some other things that just felt like I didn't necessarily need in this movie. But they could also be things that the fans of the game are going to absolutely love that are in here. All in all, it's an incredibly tough task to make a movie from a game like this, let alone it be coherent in any way. So even though this movie isn't the greatest thing in the world, it's still a feat that it is what it is. All in all, a Minecraft movie is a fun enough time that I think people who are into Minecraft are going to adore, let alone at the very least have a good time with. It's not anything groundbreaking, and there is stuff in here that I wish could have been done better, but it's safe to say that it's actually surprising how much I enjoyed my time. And it's even more surprising how much it's not a dumpster fire. I give a Minecraft movie a 2 out of 5 stars. This is going to be just one of the movies that came out this year for me. I am so glad it wasn't a waste of a morning for me. It actually was, not bad. But alright, those are my thoughts on a Minecraft movie. Be sure to let me know what you think of it down in the comments below. As always, thank you guys for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Be sure to stay tuned for more Yeti Films content, and I'll watch you later.